Oh, he's bringing out the finger. Yeah, and here everyone storms off. Everyone's pissed. The rebels are annoyed because they've been captured, and the Empire is frustrated because they are desperate for these plans. Okay, welcome to Shot by Shot, where I analyze every shot of an entire movie. We are moving on to scene 5 of the original Star Wars. This is a dialogue-heavy scene which continues to build on the world of these characters. Here we've just seen C-3PO and R2-D2 escape to Tatooine. Okay, we start off with Leia being escorted by these troopers alive and well from the stun from the previous scene. And we've got this surreal image of this princess being escorted by these sci-fi troopers. Like, her head is just barely sticking out too. Like, you have all these very creative and bold ideas. Now, you know, this is an example actually of this movie's great pacing. They could have had this whole scene of her waking up and wrestling with the troopers, like, oh, let me go, and whatever. But no, it just cuts right to the chase. It doesn't waste the audience's time, and it shows that Leia's mature as well. Like, you know, she's realized she's been captured, and she's going along with it. You can see her serious expression here. And as I play this shot out, I want you to notice how smooth the action is.
Darth Vader, only you could be so bold.
See, again, you got this excellent pacing. A common mistake in amateur film, TV, and theatre as well is that the actors take too long to begin their actions, having these sort of little pauses between them, which just kills the flow of the story. Like, for example, if Carrie Fisher was an amateur actor, she'd just sort of come in, stand still, and then wait a couple of seconds, and then say her line. But as you can see, Vader comes in, and Leia says it straight away.
Darth Vader, only you could be so bold.
Yeah, see how smooth that is? It's great. Yeah, and it maintains the audience's engagement. Now, with this line here, Leia says Darth Vader, not Lord Vader, so it's a more personal name. And it's interesting here that Leia knows Vader. You know, they have a history together. She even makes this elegant comment, saying, only you could be so bold. It sort of allures that Vader has this sort of... It's sort of like Vader's this nuisance to the galaxy. It's like Leia's like, oh, not this guy again. You know, so, you know, it shows that Vader has quite a history here. And she's not... It's interesting that she's not afraid of him, unlike the other rebels. It's a strange relationship that makes the audience curious.
The Imperial Senate will not sit still for this. When they hear you've attacked a diplomatic...
Now, this shot right here brilliantly demonstrates Leia's character. Even though she's surrounded by all these threatening troopers, she's not afraid and speaks her mind, even shouting at Vader. And we know how terrifying Vader is at this point. And you can really sense the emotion with these strong facial expressions here. Yeah, and with this line, yeah, it brings a lot more nuance in the world. She's calling on a higher power than Vader, this Imperial Senate. And we've got these Civil War themes. There is a division of the power structures in the world. Even though good versus evil has been clear in these opening scenes, there is a lot more going on under the surface.
Don't act so surprised, Your Highness. You weren't on any mercy mission this time.
Now this is great. Unlike a typical villain, right, that would sort of shout back and be more aggressive, Vader here actually keeps his cool. He knows he's in power. This actually makes him more menacing, as even though Leia is trying to threaten Vader with the Senate, he is completely unfazed. It's little things like this that makes Vader one of the most captivating villains. And this line here demonstrates that Vader is intelligent and can quickly piece together the holes in Leia's story. And we got this human being on the left here with Vader, showing that the Empire isn't just robots and masked foes, but that there is a human element to it. And like Vader, he's dressed in jet black, showing that they're on the sort of the same villainous team. He's also got this very snobby look with his eyebrows raised and chin up, clearly showing that he is a bad guy.
Mercy mission this time. Several transmissions were beamed to the ship by rebel spies.
And just look at the way like Leia's head turns in the shot with this sort of frustrated expression.
Several transmissions were beamed to the ship.
Yeah, it's showing that she does not have a good relationship with Vader. And notice there's this high angle with Vader and this low angle with Leia. Yeah, it shows just with the camera placement who is in control here. So, yeah. And this line right here, again, continuing to demonstrate how Vader is ripping apart Leia's arguments with elegance. This isn't, this isn't a sort of very, rash villain or anything like that.
Several transmissions were beamed to the ship by rebel spies. I want to know what
And the camera here moves to a close-up to show that the argument is getting heated.
happened to the plans they sent you.
So Vader really wants those plans. Like, the audience knows at this point that the plans are a key plot device. This film term is also known as a MacGuffin that carries the story along and is the center of conflict. Like, the story revolves around these plans.
Plans they sent you.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a member of the Imperial Senate on a diplomatic mission to Alderaan.
So we have this close-up with Leia, so the argument continues to heat up as she gets more expressive, and more, more intense in emotion. And this line right here, now this argument is becoming quite nuanced as the audience wonders who is telling the truth. Vader's argument is quite strong, but Leia's supposed to be good, isn't she? Is she with the rebels or not?
Mission to Alderaan.
Oh, he's bringing out the finger. Oh, the intensity is building with this shot right here. And then, it quickly cuts to Leia, and then a long shot. This is the climax of the argument. And with this line here, Vader seems very sure of himself in making this statement. This shows that if Leia is lying, she is doing so to protect something very important. In the opening crawl, it said that these plans could bring freedom to the galaxy. She is willing to get herself into political trouble to protect this chance at freedom. And here we have these themes of the importance of freedom show up, that it is worth great sacrifice. And we'll see later in the film how she continues to sacrifice to protect this chance at freedom.
Take it away.
And we have Vader shouting, "Take her away," which finishes the argument with a bang. This phrase, "take her away," is also a very classical villain line as well. And this movie has a lot of classical themes, as we'll see, so inspired from very old tales and mythology and all that. Yeah, and here everyone storms off. Everyone's pissed. The rebels are annoyed because they've been captured, and the Empire is frustrated because they are desperate for these plans. Now, this shot in the scene is what I call the plot dump shot, where there's this whole heap of dialogue flying past in this one shot between Vader and this officer. For younger audiences, these lines would fly past, but this information we're about to hear makes the world a lot more mature and believable for older audiences. So I'll show it to you now.
Dangerous. Word of this gets out, it could generate sympathy for the rebellion in the Senate.
I have traced the rebel spies to her.
See how we have all
Now
this
she's my only
dialogue
link to
flying
finding her
past.
secret base.
She'll die
And
before
also you have all
telling
these
us that.
troopers coming out and walking about, increasing the grandness and the immersion of the ship.
Lord Vader, the battle station
So
plans are not a...
let's go back and analyze all these lines.
Holding her is dangerous.
Dangerous. This shows that Leia has more going for her than just the plans. What is so dangerous about her?
Word of this gets out, it could generate sympathy for the rebellion in the Senate.
So this line reveals that this galaxy has some sort of democratic process, with all its political terms like generating sympathy in the Senate. This connects it to our world. Like, this could happen to us in real life. Not that we would have fantastical robots and costumes necessarily, but that our world can be under threat by an evil empire mentality. This greatly increases the immersion in the Star Wars galaxy, knowing that there is a realistic political process going on here behind the scenes, with parties disagreeing with distinct ideologies. It's also interesting that even in this empire, there is some support for the rebellion. It shows how bad this world has gotten. People want it to be better, but are being oppressed by these systems.
I have traced the rebel spies to her.
So Vader has clear evidence here that Leia is connected with the rebellion and that she's trying to cover for herself. Again, Vader is very methodical. He's not this chaotic and crazy villain.
Now she is my only link to finding their secret base.
This shows how crucial Leia is to the story. Now she is related to a secret base of the rebellion. Now the stakes have increased. Not just the plans, but also the secret base is under threat as well.
She'll die before she'll tell you anything.
So we have seen already, and are now confirmed by this officer, that Leia is willing to lay it all down for the rebellion and the virtue of freedom. It will have to take a lot to break this character.
Leave that to me.
Now, this line can slip past on many viewings, but it is a chilling foreshadowing of what is to come. This line allures that Vader is hiding a sinister plan, and it makes the audience wait in suspense to see what transpires, and we'll see how terrible this is later in the film, what methods Vader is going to use to get what he wants out of Leia.
Send a distress signal, and then inform the Senate that all aboard were killed.
So it is revealed that Vader is willing to do political games in order to get his way. Like, he's trying to kill support for the rebellion in a cheap and evil way.
Lord Vader, the battle station plans are not aboard this ship, and no transmissions were made. An escape pod was jettisoned, directions were made.
This line demonstrates that there is only one copy of the plans. This increases the stakes and tension for the rebellion, as all the Empire has to do is to get hold of that one copy, and it's over. Those plans are gone. Now look at the costume design here. These two characters have strange badges, like military ribbons with these silver ornaments. It's bringing real-life military systems into this fantastical world, making it more believable. And you see it's on this guy here as well, all that stuff. And, you know, he's got different on, you know, it's very similar to military ribbons here.
Not aboard this ship, and no transmissions were made.
So we have this cut back to Vader. It's likely to increase the pace of the dialogue. This actor here may have said his line quite slowly or in a different take. So the editors did a cut here to hide the fact that they are sort of cutting the breaks between his lines, so that the flow of the film isn't broken.
An escape pod was jettisoned during the fighting, but no life forms were aboard.
So the Empire is now aware of the droids, and so we know that they will continue to be of importance to the core plot, that, you know, all these different characters aren't separated, they're all connected by these plans.
She must have hidden the plans in the escape pod.
Again, showing Vader's keen eye and that nothing can escape from him. He's a powerful and threatening foe. And we have this mysterious jump cut here.
Must have hidden the plans in the escape pod.
See right there. And I don't know why. Perhaps this is one of the takes went wrong, or the editors want to emphasize that Vader is talking to this officer here. on the right.
Send a detachment down to retrieve them. See to it personally, Commander.
So we know that this brown planet we saw before will become the next key area of interest. The audience can now assume that the plans are with these droids, and that the card from the previous scene that Leia gave to R2 is very likely to be the only copy of the plans. Here you got this actor continuing that very smug look. He sort of raises his chin up. You know, it's a very sort of bad guy sort of look.
There'll be no one to stop us this time.
So yeah, this line reveals that the droids are in trouble. They are in imminent threat of the Empire. It's also a bit of an ironic line because, as we know throughout the film, Vader is going to have a lot more trouble receiving these plans than he thought.
Yes, sir.
And he'll go off. And we got this sort of space shot here, showing the ship and the planet. It's a nice little break for the audience to digest what has been told. And it's a visual emphasis, like an establishing shot, that the following scenes will take place on this planet that the droids have escaped to. So the action is moving from this ship to the planet, sort of a transfer of where the action will be located. So there we have it. It's quite a shorter scene compared to the others. I'm basing this on the official disc chapters, so some scenes are longer than others. So yeah, I'll see you in scene 6, where we get the first look at the planet of Tatooine.